We're going to learn a Sicha Beis, Boy and Daled, Chelek Zayin. Try to go through as many as the Haaoros as we can. The Rebbe starts to say like this: "Benegay some civil concerning this command of the Eibishter, va'ochlu b'layla zeh u'matzis, that the night of Pesach you have to eat matzis. As in the Nacht von Tezvov Nissen seien die Knochen Mitzrayim haben ihnen gedacht essen Matzah. We find something very, very interesting. What is it? By the Tzivi of Achilles Matzis L'Deiris in Pashas Re'ei, when the Torah commands that you didn't have to eat all the generations matzah, which is later in Chumash Devarim Pashas Re'ei, over there's after the Torah says Shivas Yom Techalol of matzahs Lechem Oini Ki B'Chapazin Yotzasa Meretz Mitzrayim, that you have to eat matzahs, which is Lechem Oini, because in the rush you went out there to Mitzrayim. And for them lent man up as the matzah muzayin Lechem Oini Davke, as the Torah says Lechem Oini Nitke Matzah Ashira. Bald as in Pesach Mitzrayim, but Pasha saying, but seeing in now Pasha with the Torah commands is in Mitzrayim. That Lechem Oini Nittermon doesn't mention the word Lechem Oini is mashma. It seems that demult in Mitzrayim haben Eden gekent jetzt sein dem Chiyah von Achilles Matzah, euch Matzah Ashira, that Eden were able to eat b'yetze the mitzvah even Matzah Ashira. And the Rebbe explains in Haaoros Forjos. He says that even though that the Gemara in Chagiga, the Gemara says that the Tzivui of Parshas Re'ei was actually said already with Sinai. It's a machlekes over the Gemara if it was repeated twice, 3 times, once, or the mitzvahs only klal was said in Sinai or not. But anyway, even according to the Mandomer who holds that it was already commanded in Sinai, so maybe we're going to say also that this command from Mitzrayim also was already commanded together with all the other mitzvahs, and therefore maybe even in Mitzrayim even doesn't say there Mat Lechem Oini, but everything was given over at the same time, and therefore even Mitzrayim they had to eat Lechem Oini. The Rebbe says you can't say so because it's moving. The Rebbe says Shetzivu Zeh B'chol HaTzivui in Pashas Re'ei, that this tzivui and everything Lo Nemru Lifnei Hadibur b'Mitzrayim. It was only said in Sinai, but not in Mitzrayim. And being that our Pasha is talking about before they came to Har Sinai in Pashas Mitzrayim, obviously this is not included in the what was mitzvah in Sinai. Therefore, as the Rebbe says in the Pnim, it's mashma that in Mitzrayim they did not have to eat lechem oini. They were able to be made yaitz the matzah in the night of Pesach with matzah shir. The Rebbe continues on. Al pizeh is verstandig, according to this we understand, as choch as by Pesach days muss sein the matzah lechem oini dafke. Even though in generations later on we have to eat only lechem oini, it's aber in Geula by Geulas Mitzrayim Gufa gewen an Ort euch ef matzah shira. In the time of Geulas Mitzrayim, even matzah shira also made sense. Aber does Gufa, yes, it made sense. But when in matzah shira, when in Geulas Mitzrayim, need be'ez the yitziyah from Mitzrayim, not while they were already actually going out of Mitzrayim. Von dann haben Eden gegessen Lechem Oini because they couldn't delay hispik b'tzeki shel aveseder b'Mitzrayim lahachmitz. They had to run out right away, and they didn't even have a time to make their bread. B'chometz, nor when was the Nesinas Vakim? When was it you could be yaitz with matzah shira? Nor far the yitzia als achone zu as a preparation to it. To the Yitzis Mitzrayim, when they ate it still with the Korban Pesach together, that's when they were able to eat matzah ashira. As the Rebbe says in Haaoros 6, Rei Gvuras Hashem, Vashenema ba'agoda lachma anya diachol avson be out of the Mitzrayim. And the Meforshim talk about it. What do you mean, be out of Mitzrayim? They ate the matzah when they would go out of Mitzrayim. So, besides in the Rus says the matzah she'ochlu beis yitziyosum in Mitzrayim. That's a lachma anya. But beforehand, while they ate the Korban Pesach together with Korban Pesach in Mitzrayim itself, they were able to eat matzah shira. And the Rebbe continues on, but the Torah is with the maschil, the matzah shenikel lechem ein han mishachlu kishiyotzum in Mitzrayim. Umekiven shel lechem oini shel matzah ashira, had they moved shlei ochlu oz matzah ashira when they went out of Mitzrayim. Masha'inkin in Mitzrayim itself, then as the Rebbe writes in the Pnim, they were able to eat also matzah ashira. We'll take a pause now in the Pnima de Sicha, and we're going to learn Haaoros 5 and the Shulei HaGilgin. It's going to take in itself a whole Iyun. It'll take a while till we get through everything over here. As an introduction to this, just a little nakuda, that the translation of Matzah Shira can be translated in different ways. What's Taich Matzah Shira? Matzah Shira can be made with flour and meipedes, and Matzah Shira can also be made with flour, meipedes, and water together. And there's a nafkimina, ledina, and all between these two Matzah Shiras. What's again to what the Rebbe speaks in Tzara, we'll explain as we go along in the Haaoros. In the Pnimah, the Rebbe said that from this is understood that in Mitzrayim itself, in other words, while they ate the matzah in Mitzrayim, not while they went out of Mitzrayim, but in Mitzrayim together with the Korban Pesach, that's what the pasuk is talking about. V'ochel b'layla hazeh is going on the while they were eating the Korban Pesach. They were able to use matzah shira as well, being that the word lechem only is not mentioned in our parsha. That's what the Rebbe said in the Pnimah. So that's the Rebbe in Haaoros 5. On the Das Maharal, the Maharal Prague says, and according to him, Gam Pesach Deiris, not only in Pesach Mitzrayim, they were able to use matzah shira, but even in the generations later, that the Torah commands already lechem oini. Nevertheless, there's two tzivuyim, there's two different commands. Where the Rebbe says, Be'erev tichla matzahs and lechem oini, and beis mitzvahs, two separate mitzvahs. It's a mitzvah to eat lechem oini and a mitzvah to eat matzah. Therefore, the Maharal says, if a person has matzah ashira, and the Rebbe right away puts into parentheses, which matzah ashira? Only sheyesh bo gam mayim v'yichelu lovil dechimutz. Because in the pasuk it says, as we will learn later on, that you have to prevent it from becoming chametz. And if it has only meipedes, it doesn't become chametz at all. It can't become chametz. So therefore, there's no need to shmarte mesamatzes. Being that you need to shmarte mesamatzes, you have to prevent it from becoming chametz. It has to be obviously that it has also water. And if it has also water, not only it could become chametz, it can actually become chametz even quicker than just flour and water, as it's explained in the Gemara and Shulchan Aruch, and we'll see it later on. So if a person has this type of matzah shira, even bisman hazeh, and he does not have regular matzahs, yichlena b'lei Pesach, he should eat it. Lekayim akaponim mitzvahs be'erev tichla matzahs. You should be mekayim that mitzvah, because according to the Maharal, it's two different tzivuyim. Av shalei yekayim mitzvahs lechem oini, even though he will not be mekayim the mitzvah or lechem oini. And the Rebbe brings another few manabakemis in parentheses who also think like that, hold like that. Avo b'magen Avraham, and same thing in Chok Yaakov, they don't hold like this. V'chein hu la'alocha b'Shulchan Aruch ad Mud HaZoken, Siman Tov Nun Hey, and Tov Ayin Aleph Siv Dalet and Hey. So let's see what the Alter Rebbe writes in Siv Tov Ayin Dalet Siv Dalet, because that's what the Rebbe is going to talk about in the Shulei HaGilgin for this Haaoros. Siv Dalet, the Rebbe says that before Kedem to Ashiras, you're allowed to eat pas. Before the 10th hour in Erev Pesach, you're allowed to eat pas. Which pas can you eat? You can't eat chametz already from the 5th hour and so on. So the Alter Rebbe is man ha'ini yochel lechel, and towards the end of the siv ha'ini yochel lechel ela matzah ashira. You can eat only matzah ashira. The hainu, what's matzah ashira? She eat about meipedes. That meipedes is mixed into it. Shalei osur chachamim lechel be'erev pesach ela matzah shadim yochel lotzis l'dich. Avasi b'laylo. Only the matzah that you can be in yotze by night. That's what you're not allowed to eat that night of Pesach. Abo matzah ashira, ein yitzimbo. You can't be yitzim matzah ashira kameshi is nizbor b'sim tof membeis ein shom koparotit is there. And being that you can't be yitzim from matzah ashira, the mitzvah of matzah by night, therefore you're allowed to eat it on night of Pesach. It's a klod, and Alter Rebbe holds that the matzah ashira you cannot be yitzim any mitzvah. Not only the mitzvah of lechem oini, he's not talking about lechem oini, he's talking about pas. But Meila is a charaya, the Alter Rebbe also holds like the Magen Avraham, the Chok Yaakov, that you cannot be yotze with this matzah shira, different than the Maharal. Then the Rebbe goes on in the Shula Agilion on the bottom to the Sahara. It says L'choira Yefshel Litcheik Shekavanosi b'Mashikosav Shom Sib Dalit Matza Ashira Sha'ainu She'ira Bo Mei Peiris Hi Leisa Shenilusha Rak B'Mei Peiris B'Li Mayim She'oz Gam LaMaharal Mutar L'Ochel Erev Pesach M'She'ini Yochel Lo V'Ledei Chimutz. In other words, the Rebbe wants to say over here, maybe there's no raya that the Alter Rebbe argues with Maral. Maybe he agrees exactly with Maral. And the Taich of what the Alter Rebbe writes in Shulchan Aruch over here, that you're allowed to eat matzah ashira and erev Pesach. And he says the Hainu she'irabo made of mei peres means mixed into it only mei peres. That's a translation word. She'irabo mei peres. The Alter Rebbe doesn't say over here irabo water and mei peres. He writes only irabo only mei peres. He writes the word mei peres. Doesn't write the word gam. Writes only mei peres. But maybe he's talking about in such a matzah ashira which has only mei peres. You could eat it at night of Pesach, and you can be yaitze the night of Pesach, because it's not, it doesn't have a din of yuchel love and lechimutz. As I mentioned before, if it has only mepedus, it doesn't come with lechimutz. But mainly you're allowed to eat it at night of Pesach, and you can use it the night of Pesach. If it would have water, then you can't use it. You could be yaitze on the night of Pesach. He can't use it on the night of Pesach, and therefore, in such a case, if that's the situation, the Alter Rebbe holds exactly like the Maral Matrog, because Maral Matrog is also talking what matzah can you be yaitze the night of Pesach matzah shira that has water and mepedes, and maybe that's the Alter Rebbe as well. The Rebbe says Aval Einei, you can't say so, and the Rebbe has a few reasons explaining why you can't say that that's taich in the Alter Rebbe. And first of all, the Rabbi gives two explanations why you can't say this in the what do you call it, in the Chatzoi Rebuah. After the Chatzoi Rebuah, we'll get back to Chatzoi Rebuah. Let's go after the Chatzoi Rebuah. The Rabbi says, "Mimashakosov b'sif hey." Being that the Rabbi continues on in Sif hey, but also la'ochla be'erev Pesach is muchach shekoi b'matzah sheyesh b'gamayim. Because if we're talking that it has only meperes, we just finished explaining that you're allowed to eat it on Erev Pesach. And over here, the Alter Rebbe in Sif Hey, which is a continuation to Sif Dalet, the Alter Rebbe says clearly, "V'oso la'ochla be'erev Pesach." Is muchach, is clear, shekoi gam b'matzah sheyesh b'gam mayim, u'mesiv zeh nilmad ala koidmei. Sif Hey is a hemshech to Dalet. B'meileh, from Sif Hey, we understand that also the pshat in Sif Dalet. So what's the taich in Sif Dalet? That it has side water and side mepedes. And now again, the Alter Rebbe says that you can't use it to be yetzer the mitzvah. Even though l'chayri can bedeichik, no, litzadim ketani, it's an expression in the Gemara, litzadim, not necessarily what says in Sif Hey is mamsha hemshech l'Sif Dalet, and Sif Hey is talking in the case that has water and mepedes, and Sif Dalet is talking that it has only mepedes. It's a deichik. But it's much more clear in the pashtas that it's a hemshech. But the Cholei from them says, "Foolish b'simutaflun hey." Over there, Sif Lamadal, which the Rebbe brought in the prim of the end of the Hara, kemach umayim. So it says over there that it has water as well. So b'meila, in such a case, we know we're talking about matzah shira that has water as well. B'meila, afal b'kein, the Alter Rebbe says in Tov Ayin Aleph over here that you cannot be yetzer the mitzvah of matzah with this matzah shira is a klora raya that the Alter Rebbe disagrees with the Maral. Now let's get back to the brackets. The Rebbe says that is the clear heichocha that the Alter Rebbe is talking about matzah shira that has side mepedes and side water. Then the Rebbe says like this. What was the l'chatchila, the yisod, how the Rebbe explained? The Rebbe says, that what? I'm going back to the beginning of the brackets. That what? Of the Shula Gilid. That what the Alter Rebbe says over there, she'irabo means not mixed water with flour, water and mepedes with the flour, only mepedes. That the translation of the word irabo means only mepedes. So the Rebbe, first of all, The Alter Rebbe should have used the word shinilusha, which means it was not only with meipedes. That's the type shinilusha. V'leishi irabo meipedes, not the word he mixed into it in meipedes. Shemash mashiesh b'gamai. When you use the word irabo, means mixed into it. Leumas, the word shenilusha. Nilusha means it was not only with meipedes. Irabo means it mixed into it. So it means me passes more. Ubefraat of the Rebbe. Passes more means water as well. Ubefraat. Shemishane melosh natur. That the Alter Rebbe is mishane melosh natur. Kidiyu kabach sham. The two writes clearly shenilusha, and the Alter Rebbe writes sheira b'mei pedis. So b'meli we have here one raya that you can't say that means it means has only meipedes, because the Alter Rebbe uses the word she'iraba. Then the Rebbe puts a side note. He says, "Avol rei loshen admur hazokin b'simin tov mem daled sif beis." In tov mem daled sif beis, the Alter Rebbe says about eating the shuda shlishis and erev Shabbos shechal liyis bepesach. And over there, the Alter Rebbe writes, "What can you eat over here in the Suda Shlishis? Aber Suda Shlishis given this man it's after this man, so you can't eat regular matzah. What can you eat at Suda Shlishis? You can eat rak matzah ashira. What matzah ashira? The hainu matzah shenilush beyain ed shemen ed mash echolav ishar mashkim and meipedes. So over here, the Alter Rebbe clearly says shenilusha. So the Rebbe says, "Rei loshen admur hazokein in timtoman shenilusha." In the Charaya that the Alter Rebbe is translating that what's the taich of matzah ashira, that it was nilusha with meipedes alone. So Ebazei, so the Alter Rebbe is translating what is the taich of matzah ashira. Matzah ashira means it was nilusha but meipedes alone. So b'meile Ebazei, maybe this is the taich over here also. So the Rebbe says, that over there, maybe we can say that the reason why the Alter Rebbe is talking about Shenilusha because he doesn't want to change from Lashon Natur. The Alter Rebbe over here is Mishana Lashon Natur. B'samich al mashi yefarish b'mekoymai b'simatov alam ein aleph shemitzayin sham in tof mem beis. The tof mem beis, the Alter Rebbe at the end of the sieve, he says Kameshin is boy b'simatov ein aleph. So b'meila maybe the Alter Rebbe is just relying what he will talk more in detail in Sim Tov Ayin Aleph. Then over here in Tov Ayin, if he clearly writes Ahainu She'ira V'Meipedes, so maybe the Taich in Sim Tov Mem Beis also means She'ira V'Meipedes. But mainly it means like a mixes in Meipedes as well. But mainly in such a case, it's talking about the Matzah Shira that has Sai water and Sai, what do you call it? And Sai water and Sai water and Sai Meipedes. We'll get back to it a little bit afterwards. Let's first finish the second base, the Iker. Another raya why you can't say that the Alter Rebbe in Tov Ayin Beis means that it was not only with Meipedes, was lehavile lahaski klala tevis matzah ashira. What does it say in Tov Ayin Beis? It says that you can use an Erev Pesach. What can you use? Why did the Alter Rebbe have to use the word matzah ashira? The reason why he can use it, as the Rabbi is explaining, the reason why he can use it on Erev Pesach is because he can't use it at night. And what's the reason why you can't use it at night? Because the reason why he can't use it at night is because it can become chametz. And at night, in order to be able to use the mitzvah, it has to be a possibility to come to the chimutz. You prevent it from coming to the chimutz. But over here, what's the negaya to write the word matzah ashira? The main point over here is because it can't come, not because it's matzah ashira, because it can't come to the chimutz. So why did Alter Rebbe add in the word matzah ashira? If from this in itself, that we're not talking just about a water, a thing that has only mepedes. It has mepedes and water as well. Elo the Rabbi finishes the Haaoros, this heading, that the reason why the Rebbe mentions over here the word Matzah is the Koyal Reish Simono. This is behemshich to the beginning of the Siman, which a Siman is quoted, is called Matzah Ashira. Shu Lashon Arosh Tur. But you have to say, without this pilpul over here, you have to say that the reason why he says Matzah Ashira is, you have to say so, L'taretz Kevel Lashon. But at the end of the day is Matzah Ashira, and the Hainu She'ira Ba Meperis. It's just translation. What's the point over here translating it? The Rebbe said it a few times before. So why is he quoting Bo? The Pashas, you can say the reason why he's calling it, he writes the word Matzah Ashira, is because it comes behemshech to what he said in the beginning, the keppel of the Siman, which is called Matzah Ashira, and that's why he mentions the word Matzah Ashira. Lahavdil bein Kaddish le my words. I don't understand this this aleph, the first piece of here. I said that the Rebbe in the parentheses in the middle of the bracket says Aval rei loshon admon azokim b'sim tof mem dalet shinilusha. And from this, the Rebbe wanted to ask a shaila that l'cha'ira over there writes l'nilusha. And Lusha means only nid, and over here at She'irabo is L'chaira is Lavdafke, the Iravo means mixed water. Maybe it means also Shinilusha, even though he uses the word She'irabo. And he just doesn't want to change from the Lashon Hatur. I don't understand, because if you learn that sif inside, this is just a Haaoros, because I'm just putting it in there for whoever wants to look into it. I don't have an answer to it. Over there, the Sif talks about that you can be Yetza, mitzvah Sudash Lishis, on Shabbos Chalis b'Shabbos. The din is that you can be Yetza Sudash Lishis even not only with regular bread, or in mezainis. You can be Yetza the din of Sudash Lishis. The difference between Matzah Shira that has water and mepedes, and the Matzah Shira that has only mepedes. If it has only mepedes, it's a mezainis. If it has water and mepedes, there's a possibility to have make a meitzi, and you have to make a meitzi on it. So by mail over there, the Alter Rebbe wants to say that you can even be Yetza with mezmin mezainis. So the Alter Rebbe writes in Ilushabo, it has only mepedes. That's why he writes over there in Ilushabo. Mashenkin over here is talking about being able to or not being able to Yetza at night. Over here, if it has only mepedes, you definitely can be Yetza, as the Rabbi writes in the Pnim. And that's why we're here, right? Because over here is talking about be able to be Yetza, the mitzvah of matzah, at night, and therefore you could or could not eat it at a Pesach. Mashenkin over there is Nelusha, is because it's talking about two different things. And also what the Rebbe says at the end, and he's soimich on what he writes at the end of the Sif, that is Mitzayin, the Tzim Taf Ayin Aleph. The Tzim Taf Ayin Aleph is not even talking about Matzah Ashira. The Tzim Taf Ayin Aleph is Aval Kol Matzah She'odem Yetzi Bo Yidechi Vosir B'Pesach Also Lochla Be'erev Pesach which is Bo B'Tzim Taf Ayin Aleph. It's talking about regular matzah. Maybe it's not talking about the hemshech to the Inyan of Matzah Ashira, which is Nilusha B'Mei Pedis. So I don't understand if in Izdaiti what's the Kasha Melechatchila from Simitov Membeis that the Rebbe is pointing it and explaining it differently. If anybody can write something or say something, would be appreciated. The Rebbe's Mamshech Yisif Beis and Pnim. Pesach Mitzrayim is the Mokke B'Sherish of Pesach from Matzah Shalderis. The whole Inyan of Pesach comes from the whole Inyan of Mitzvahs of Pesach comes from the Pesach Mitzrayim. Is moving at the Inyan Anal. What we said before about Pesach Mitzrayim. What did we say before? That Al Tasachona to Yitzis Mitzrayim is done. It's in the smoking of Matzah Ashira. That from Tzad in time of Mitzrayim there was a possibility to be Yetzer with Matzah Ashira. Darf sein the Gmosse Eichem Pesach Deris, being that it's the Sheiresh of all the Pesach and from all the generations. So even the Inyan for Matzah Ashira that you could actually use it. It also has to be bedugma. We'll find it also later on. which is, the Rabbi says, steht in Mordechai, the Rabbi brings on for the Mordechai, as bezmach Beis Hamikdash hoye kayom, hoye oisim kol ha-seder achar ha-suda. The first had the Suda, and the whole Seder, with the mitzvahs matzah and mortar and everything, was done later. And the matzahs mitzvah was only later when they made the Seder. First they ate a Suda, and then they made the Seder. What did they do during the Suda? They would then eat matzah ashira. Why? Because today, at the biggest amoitzi from the Suda, soll nicht sein, if a matzah von welchem wird später beim Seder mekayim ze mitzvah sachilas matzah. They did the Seder later, they had to eat matzah's mitzvah, a regular matzah. And therefore, they made a moitzi by the Suda. A Suda has to be al pas, al moitzi. So they had to eat a matzah. Which matzah did they eat during the Suda? They ate the Suda matzah ashira. And as we said before, the matzah shira obviously was water and mepedes. And then they made a moitzi. And then later on, afterwards, they ate the matzah achilas matzah. Is a charai over here. This is the dogma that even in Pesach Deiris, there is also a concept of matzah ashira. Just like in Pesach Mitzrayim. That time by Beis Hamikdash, they would eat during the Suda matzah ashira. And the reason why they didn't eat l'chatchila matzah in the regular matzah, as it brings down in Haaoros 9, based on the Gemara in Psachim, because later you're going to make the Seder, you're going to make the birchas alachilas matzah. That's a Seder. And during the Suda, you're making a maitzi. So the Gemara says, "Legabi morer, if you eat during the karpas, you eat a morer or different vegetables." The Gemara says you can't eat morer l'chatchila because la'achash mila krishim memena. After you fill yourself up with morer, you're going to make a bracha alachilas morer. Therefore, you eat something else, and then you eat morer later. The Gemara says over there that's a discussion in Gemara in Pesachim Daf Kuf as well. So the Rabbi says same thing over here also. That during the Suda they couldn't eat the regular matzah. Why not? Because later on during the Seder, when they would make the whole Seder, and that's when they would make matzah. Therefore, they couldn't eat the matzah before, because if they ate the matzah before, it doesn't make sense to make alachilas matzah. After you stuffed milakirisa, you filled yourself up already with the matzah. Rebbe goes on further. Not only in time of the Beis Hamikdash, we also find something memorable to the Inyan of eating matzah ashira bizman hazeh, chosh mepravedim seder fad, so that even though now we make the whole seder before we eat it. So what is the comparison? Where did we find the Inyan of matzah ashira also bizman hazeh? The din is as erev Pesach kodim sho ashidis, an erev Pesach hagam mitonet etzen matzah. You're not allowed to eat. The Gemara says you're not allowed to eat matzah. Ayir cholech matzah erev Pesach kilo beil arisosei. What it says is, you're allowed to eat matzah ashira. V'yeshleiman, the Rebbe says, those gufa was shchonoruch Teire is mate lachatchila bepashtus. That the Teire says you are allowed to. The Teire says the Teire doesn't say if you ate is okay. Teire says muter, you're allowed to go eat matzah ashira to essen dan matzah ashira. That beweist as erev Pesach is a right dan erev Pesach. When man macht hachonis zu Pesach v'yitzias Mitzrayim, just like in Mitzrayim. When did they eat the matzah shira? The Rebbe said in the beginning. Not while they were going out of Mitzrayim. Then they ate regular matzah oini, lechem oini. The preparation beforehand, same over here, Erev Pesach, which is a preparation to Yitzias Mitzrayim, but the Torah gegeben man or if matzah shira. In Haaoros 12, the Rebbe says, "Re'ei teised de masal leyecha shom b'seifei, ochel matzah shira sharia, v'chein hoyonei Rabbeinu tam." In other words, that the Rebbe brings some cases, not only that it's if you ate ochal matzah, avo matzah shira, avo matzah shira sharia, not only it's mutter, but even more than mutter. Chen hoyonei Rabbeinu tam to eat beforehand. Over here is just again ha'order b'derech agav. The Mordechai. That the Mordechai says that they would eat beforehand dafka matzah ashira. So I saw in the Meforshim talk about it. They say, what's the raya that they ate matzah ashira? It could be they ate different types of matzah. Then you cannot be yaitza Yidei in Shulchan Aruch says if you take matzah and you cook it, you can be ate to the mitzvah matzah, but it's not matzah shira. So maybe that's what they ate in the seuda of which would be made before the seder of Pesach. So what's the raya that they ate matzah shira? So I saw somebody explaining that that's what the Rebbe, the mocker maybe is from B'chein Hoyaneg Rabbeinu Tam. Being Hoyaneg Rabbeinu Tam to eat matzah shira, that is the mocker maybe of the Mordechai itself to say that you ate matzah shira. Otherwise, maybe they ate different matzahs. This is also hard with the Chagav. Again, lahavdu ben hakedesh to what is not in the Rebbe's words. But let's go on back to Siv Gimel. Siv Gimel, the Rebbe goes on. In B'tzivu for Nachilas lechem oini hanal, not the matzah shira, but the lechem oini. It says, is the posik masbedem tamat tzivui? Why do you have to eat lechem oini? Ki bechipozin yitzosam eretz Mitzrayim. They rushed, but mele lehispik b'tzeik lahachmid. The botzik couldn't become chometz, and being that it couldn't become chometz, that's why you have to eat lechem oini. As lechem oini is shoylel, nit nor chometz. The lechem oini does not only exclude chometz. The Rebbe brings down that that's what the Ritva Lagorish Pesach he translates in the Piska of Hey Lachma, that what's the type Hey Lachma Anya? Anya means excluding chometz, and he explains that chometz is rich, it becomes big, and this is lachmanya, sweet little thin breads. So lechem oini is shoylel, not only chometz, which is big, nor the lechem oini is oiched, nor oich matzah ashira canal. Lechem oini is also excluding matzah ashira, which is also flat, doesn't blow up, because you can also prevent it just like regular. Is mistaber as bechipozin yitzosah. The reason of bechipozin being that both of them come from the same posik lechem oini, that you can't use regular chametz, and you can't not allowed to use regular chametz, and also not matzah shira. And the posik says ki bechipozin. This is also a tam, but was mekenit yetzezayin mit matzah shira. Darf man verstehen? Mit was is bechipozin yitzosah a tam of them was mekenit yetze matzah shira. As a result of that, they couldn't make it chometz. I understand that's the reason why you can't eat chometz. Lechem oini couldn't make it chometz. Therefore, you don't need chometz. It excludes chometz. Oh, but matzah shira, what does it have to do? Matzah shira has nothing to do with the fact that b'chipozin yotzosa l'chayra. The Rebbe is mamshich weiter in Siv Dalet. The Rebbe says like this: from the selben pasuk in Al Matchalosik. The pasuk which we brought in the beginning of the Sicha, the Sicha all of Chometz Shivas Yom Techel all of Matzis. Lernt man up, the Gemara learns from this. Am ken Yitzes ein Chivas Matzah nor midvarim aboim l'dechimutz. The Sicha all of Chometz Shivas Yom Techel all Matzis. We learn that the only mitzvah, the only type of matzah that you can use is only matzah that could become Chometz, and you're preventing it from becoming Chometz. The Rebbe says in the brackets from the Shaykhis v'tam from b'chipozim le'dem din. The Rebbe asked before, what's the connection of the chipozin to matzah shira? What is the connection of the chipozin to the fact that it has to be a third type of matzah which could come lechimut? So the Rebbe says, "Mepashtus, kim sagen mepashtus." The Baal, aber Pesach Mitzrayim is given a bosik. Bosot gekent ben chometz. Pesach Mitzrayim was a certain dough that could have been chometz. Unor mitzad dem chipozin is lehi speak lahatzmitz because they rushed. That's what prevented it from coming chometz. Darf euch die Matze, was me esst, als zeichel yitzis Mitzrayim. Therefore, the matzah that we eat, zeichel for that, what happened, zeichel yitzis Mitzrayim, has to be a possibility to come the chometz. Just like in Mitzrayim, it was a dough that could have come the chometz. Von vorm aboim lechimutz, und es muss sein, a sibba has to be a prevention, a reason, which is a prevention, which you do, zu menea sein dos, to hold it back from becoming. You have to prevent it. You have to watch it. As it says in Pasuk, we'll bring later. Shmartem es amatzis. Zechel etzias Mitzrayim. Even prat from b'chipozin yitzoso. But this is the connection between the reason of b'chipozin yitzoso to the fact that it has to be a certain type of a dough that could come to the chemetz, and you prevent it. Says the Rebbe. Yes, as the beide dinim. I've beide dinim on both of these dinim. Which dinim? The din of matzah shira and the din of dvarim aboim she'ein aboim lechimutz. Sagt der Posik demselben Tam ki bechipozin yotzoso, ist der Fum verstandig, at the zwei sugi matzah hanal, that both of these sugim, matzah ashira, which the Torah did give the reason b'chipazim. We just don't understand, as the Rebbe asked in the end of Siv Gimel, what's the connection? But the Torah says the chipazim on that. That's why you can use the inyan for matzah shira. Also, which we learn now, that it has to be dvarim she'ein boim lechimut you can't use, just like you can't use the matzah shira. You can't use the dvarim she'ein boim lechimut. And the Torah says by both of them, the time of kibichipozen is the verstanden understood that the zwei suge matzah anal haben bechlolles demselben chsoren. They both have the same chisoren, same reason why you can't Rabbi Yetzer sein mit zei dem chiyuv for achilas matzah. For the same reason you can't use matzah shira, that's the same reason that you also can't use things which ain't about medechibus, as we'll explain later on in Primis Onyon. Leider gisige Fitman, on the other side, Fitman, an interesting, as Chodge the din for matzah shira is gesagt geworden, erst bei Pesach Deres Genal Sif Aleph, even though the mitzvah of matzah shira, that you can't use matzah shira, was commanded only later, as we felt in the beginning of the Sicha, because in time of Mitzrayim you could use matzah shira. Is aber if euch bei Pesach Mitzrayim schon gewähnt der Klolis dicke Din, as the matzah von Leil Pesach muss sein von Azab Bosek, was ich chilel. Even though both of them are the same chsarin, nevertheless, the fact of matzah shira, you were able to use matzah Mitzrayim. But that it has to be some in a general aspect already had a connection even before. It says in the Torah already, even at time of Mitzrayim. Where do we see this? We learned this up in Yerushalmi. Which says by Mitzrayim, as mizyetzin nor mit matzah tzricha shimur, that's like to shmarte, prevent it from comments. That says already by Mitzrayim. Das heißt, as Chodge by Pesach Mitzrayim hat me gekent Yetzer sein with one problem, which you can use later in Pesach Days, mit Matzah Shira, mit Achilas Matzah Shira. On the other end of the Sabbath Gedav, sein Azah, sort had to be such a type of Matzah, was it Tzricha Shmira, which is, as we spoke before, what kind of a Matzah Shira could be have that it has to be prevented. L'chayra Matzah Shira can't come lechametz. No. The dogma, ducharai mishnuf, vaser midi peperes. Matzah shira, which is made only in peperes, taka can come l'dei chimut, and that you can not be yaitze, even according to the maral, according to nobody, you could be yaitze the mitzvah of matzah, of mitzvah's matzah. Oh, but if it has water, then it could come l'dei chimut. But then it is the Isa bol lechimutz ve'adarabba, as it says in the Gemara and Shulchan Aruch, it's memaheres lahachmitz. It becomes even quicker chametz than just flour and water itself. So we see a contrast between the two mitzvahs. One side you could use matzah shira on Erev Pesach, even though the chsaron bisman hazeh for matzah shira comes from the same pasuk of lehispik b'tzekes shel avseinu b'lahachmitz. And on the other hand, you then had to be already a certain matzah that could come l'chimutz. So we see something, two things which are learned out from the same sheidish and the same reason. Afa b'kein, there's a difference in the Pesach Mitzrayim. Part of it could have been, part of it could not have been. And the Rebbe brings down over here that even according to the Babli, you can also the Babli's maz holds exactly like the Rishalmi, the Rebbe's Mitzrayim, the Tzemach Tzedek, and so on.